Hey, we just received this return request on TCG Player. We're going to go over what happened, how we did this. The buyer of this card said it was not near mint because of whitening on the back. The question is, was he right? Watch through to see all the steps that went through, and then at the very end, we'll show how to do a refund on TCG Player. I know this might be helpful to others out there that are trying to figure this out also. All right, so we're going to go in here. The issue was the card was sold for $70. We had listed it as near mint. The buyer contacted us after receiving the card. The buyer felt that there was too much whitening for a near mint listing. So we're going to show kind of how that went. We're going to go over a few things. You can see in our portal here was the card that was purchased for $70, the order amount and the fee amount, and then also the part that they don't show here, the shipping. It says $1.69, but we were learning in this, and when my son went out and sent it through the postal service, USPS, it cost him just over $8 to ship this card. So he also lost out on the shipping there a little bit. So we're learning on that. But we're going to dive into some of the evidence, go through here, what you think. So here's kind of our message or thread going back and forth that I had with the buyer. And I tried to see why they thought that. He also sent me images, and I'm going to show you those images here he emailed to me. He definitely zoomed in and found it, and it looks in worse condition than looking at it with your actual eyes. So you be the judge of this. We'll show what the photos were that we had taken before, because we actually had listed it on eBay, and we were getting a lot of traction, a lot of people asking about it. So we took it down actually, because at that time we were just starting the TCG Player store, and we thought maybe that was the way to go. I'm going to show you the photos here. Get a sip of my coffee here, cold brew. So these are the buyer photos that he sent back in an email, and they're really zoomed in. So you can see the whitening down in the corner here on the back of the card. And then there's some whitening across the top. I did notice this one when I was looking at it, but this looks a little rougher than what I remember on that corner. And here's the card. So the big one was there was a whitening spot down here, and then there was these two here. I did not notice this the first time. And again, my kids were the ones who are listening to this. We're trying to figure out how do you condition a card. So let me know in the comments what you think on this drowsy by now seeing the back of it. Would you have done this near mint, or would you have done this as lightly played? Now, here's the eBay listing. So we'd actually taken photos of this card ahead of time and put on eBay, but then we took it down, like I said. So these are photos that we had. We did not think to take photos ahead of time of higher end cards. So I'm glad that we had taken those so we could reference those back. So that's something that we learned along the way. If you're listing cards that are a little more expensive, you should probably take photos of the front and back to make sure that they match up with what the buyer is saying. So I'm going to show some of these photos here. The front and centering look good. And then for this one, you can see that there was a little bit of whitening on the top there. Again, I didn't see that corner. That looks like it's slightly there. And then at the bottom, we have that little bit of whitening right there on the corner also. Show a couple other photos here. So the main thing was up in the top right. There was some, and then the bottom left. And then the grading kind of can be subjective to different collectors and how they have different standards, as we're finding out as we go in here. I'm going to also show, if you go to the store page here, this is where you find the condition your cards. You can click on this and it will show you the PDF. I've already zoomed in. So here's what TCG Player says. 2 common defects are also evaluated during conditioning, curling, and centering. This is how the point system works. So for near mint, it says up to 3 points. Imperfections are allowed to following types: slight edge wear, scuffing, indentation, minor scratches, slight defect. And they have like a little preview here. You can't really see, but there's like a little bit of a whitening or some type of defect on the corner there. They show on one. So we thought that it has a spot on the one corner and one on the other, so it should be near mint. As we're finding out, it maybe should have been listed as lightly played. This shows up to 6 points. Imperfections. There's 2 spots here. It shows on opposite corners and so forth. It goes down. So I'm not going to dive into this. You can look at that more, but that was what we were going off of. Again, we were new to listing cards here and weren't sure how to condition them exactly. So as you can see on this photo, you can see there's a little whitening there and there. And Zooming in. It's hard to see with your eye a little bit, and you can see a little bit of spot, but when you really zoom in on the photo that he sent here, it makes it seem a little more prevalent than it actually is. So the main point I'm trying to get across here is there's often a gray area between the near mint and the lightly played. Always make sure to ask for photos, review the evidence, offer partial refund. That's what we tried to do. So in the listing here, if I go back to it, I tried to give them 10, 15 bucks off. I can't remember exactly what I said in there, to kind of cover the cost of what the cards are going for that are lightly played. If you look in here, you can see that there's a lot of lightly played going from $50 to like $65. So we tried to do that route first, but he did not want a lightly played card. He wanted a near mint card. So that didn't work out. He said if we had any more near mint cards, we could send him one in exchange. We do not have any more. Again, this is my kids' cards that they're selling. They had not used this one actually in a deck or anything, but it did have a few scuffs, I think, from maybe the neighborhood kids when they're trading with the stuff. So the buyer preferred a return, full refund. Next thing is you got to make sure that you ask for the card back before you give them the refund. So that's what we did. We got the card back, and now I'm going to go through on how you issue the refund. Come into your seller portal, click on your orders, find the order, and then you go into full refund or partial refund up here. So you click on full refund, and then you will the reason for the refund, buyer initiated, and the reason, condition issue. And I already typed up what we're going to say back. Buyer felt the card condition did not meet their expectations for near mint due to edge whitening. After reviewing the concern and accepting the return, the card was returned and received back in good condition. Refund issue upon receipt of the returned item. So now we're going to put this through with the return, since we have the card now back and it looks the same condition that we sent it in. So we'll hit refund order. And there you go, full refund processed. Pretty simple process there. All right, right after I turned off the video, I went in to see the refund, and something confused me here because we had the order for $71.69. That was what was refunded. But then when I come into the message that it sent, it automatically added it says refund amount $77.12. So I was like, what is this coming from? Did we have to charge extra? Did they double dip? Triple dip? Because this is also what I saw in the reporting. If you go in here, it says total refunds of $87.05 plus the refunded order $77.12 and the fee of $9.93. So I was thinking, whoa, what's going on? We have a $70 card, $1.69 shipping, total $71.69. Did a full refund for that amount, and then I get a message from TCG saying that the refund amount was $77.12. If we look at this here, I screenshotted it. And then if you go into the TCG already took 13% off that. And then on top of that, when we go into our reporting, it says the $77.12 and then $87.05, which you'll see when you go into here. So that's what I'm wondering. What does that mean? Why is that there? Anybody else seeing this? Yeah, let me know what you think. The one thing I did notice though, when I went into the payment history, we can see that it is refunding the correct amount here. So it says a refund of $71.69 with the refunded fees of $9.93. And it looks like it's taking some of our past orders to fund and get a reimbursement here to that. So we'll let you know in other videos what's going on. Let me know in the comments, likes below, if you've ever had a refunded order and you've run into issues, or if it was confusing to you also when you saw the different messages that you got for an amount on a card. Here's what the refund message that it says at the bottom. And I will send him also a message back just saying that it was great to work with him. Sorry that the card did not meet its expectations. We're kind of learning as we go here, and we need to be a little more picky, I think, on the near mint when we list them in the future. Lessons learned here: higher value cards take more photos, photograph corners and edges, save original photos, be professional with the buyers, refund only after card is returned. We originally believed that the card was near mint, but after seeing the return and reviewing everything, we probably relist it as a lightly played. We're debating if we should put it on TCG Player or eBay. I know TCG Player you can put photos up, which I did not realize that at first. So when we originally listed it, we just let it use the default photo. So let us know in the comments below, what do you think near mint or lightly played? And would you relist it on eBay or would you list it on TCG Player? Watch the next video above to find out more and follow and track and see what we're doing in our store as we're trying to get going here and sell cards online.